Oh, look, it's Sally.
It is. And I am in this beautiful chateau in Bordeaux. I'm here for a wedding. The wedding is of a kid that I met when he was 15, and he's now 33, going on 34, and he's gotten married. And he runs a beautiful winery here. And this was his grandparents' chateau, and he turned it into kind of like a boutique hotel. This is the dining area, but anyway, just everywhere you turn, there's something really cool.
I was going to say, so for the rookie, does a chateau always mean castle, or does it kind of just mean upscale living
it
area?
Doesn't. It literally, I believe, literally, and I mean that literally, means castle, but it's not like fairy book castle. They're just big estates that usually in this area anyway had vineyards associated with them, but they're really old. Like the house that Franck lives in, that we're going to the wedding at, or that he was raised in, was around when Charlemagne in the 800s.
By the way, you see the sippy cup? Yeah. No more spilling coffee on computers.
Hey, I know you kind of do some artwork. Let me show you a piece of art here that I have coveted since I began coming here. See if I can turn the camera around. Isn't she lovely?
That's pretty incredible.
I don't know if you can look up anything on it, but it's.
Would you say it's Duc Durand?
It says, or Ducourant. Ducourant.
You think it's all one word?
I think so. I don't know. If you put in DUCUR, where are you? Oh, there you are.
Nothing's coming up. Oh, wait, no, need a space there.
DUCOURANT. This is a little sitting room. I'll tell you the interesting thing about this house is in World War II, the Nazis came into town. Nazis came to town, and this was the biggest, nicest place in town, and so they took it over.
Is that like they came to visit?
Oh yeah, they came to visit.
Vacation, their vacation spot. Got it.
They came to. That's right, and so the townspeople wound up starting a fire and smoking them out. And down here,
what are they like?
Where I'm going to get my massage tomorrow.
I need one of those. My body's gym 3 days in a row after not going for a year.
This would be a nice place to do our thing. Anyway, so let's talk. I'm going to sit in this fancy chair here. And now I'll turn it around. So anyway, so this week I'm going to hopefully do some thrifting with you in France.
Mm-hmm.
And
have you looked at stores? It's not like I don't think it's along the same lines of like go to the Goodwill. I think it's much more like there's a random store.
Exactly. And this is the little town of Saint-Michel de Fransac or something like that. Oh, come on. I still send a voicemail. Go away from me. So I looked it up, and there are some stores, and I'm going to be in Bordeaux tomorrow, and I know there are some there. And they have little names, and there's one that says vintage something or other. Either that or it's a vinegar store. My French is no good. So anyway, we're gonna do that. But today it's 9 hours ahead of you. So whatever time it is there, it's plus 9 hours here. So anyway, it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens. We took off. We stopped in Amsterdam, went to Seattle, then went to Amsterdam, which, by the way, is the cleanest place I've ever been in my life.
It is unreal.
Clean.
Did you see any cars with basically one wheel
No,
in the canals?
I was just at the airport. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I just changed, but everybody was unbelievably polite. The hostesses on the plane all looked like Viking goddesses, you know, tall, blonde, and everybody was extremely kind. I just, there's no other word for it, extremely kind. And
It's just like flying Spirit.
pardon? Yeah, exactly. Wow.
The last time I flew Spirit, I flipped off one of the
Oh,
the
good.
gate workers. It
Well,
went poorly.
We flew on KLM from Amsterdam to Bordeaux. And
Nice.
so they come around with their little drinks. So this is a 1 hour flight and they're giving us sandwiches and coffee and orange juice. And so they came around. I took my sandwich, a good sandwich. And she said, what would you like to drink? And I said, coffee black. And she says, she gave it to me. She said, wouldn't you like some fresh orange juice to go with that coffee? Well, now that doesn't happen on American Airlines. You get your pretzels, that's it. Not even 2 bags of pretzels.
Well, on American Airlines, the flight will have been delayed for 2 hours, and then you'll get a bag of pretzels.
Yeah. So we've been treated really nicely here. And I played the old geezer card and we got a cart in Amsterdam because it is 1 mile from where we got into where we took off. And everybody says, isn't Amsterdam great? If you're late, if your plane is late, you can run and get anywhere. You don't have to worry about all this mass transportation. And I'm seeing old folks dying along the way.
God, that's a beautiful chair.
I mean, everything's beautiful here. Well, I'm going to be here, several days. So I will wind up taking you up to my little private apartment. I've got a room, but I also have a little private apartment here in the attic. That's my place. I'm going to tell people, I told you that I was in Amsterdam and you said something like, did you work the windows? And I said,
I did.
Yeah, they named the street after me. And you said, yeah, I can hear it now, Old Bat Boulevard. Thank you.
Yep. It's true. I did say all of those things. Yep.
All of it you did. So anyway, I think that you need to work some kind of a getaway. I shouldn't say that you need to. Some people, me included, travel is such an important part of my life that I'm going to find some way to incorporate travel and eBay in the same sentence.
So many people. Okay, so many people, and by that I mean I know one other person who's older, retired, who uses eBay as the source of income for traveling internationally. They have relatives in Germany, and it's really important for them to go there 2 or 3 times a year. They use all their eBay income to do that. So how much do you typically spend on a travel, and how long are you usually away for?
Well, let's take on this trip, we're staying with this kid I've known since he was 15. I'm his American mother. So we're staying in the chateau, and that, of course, there's no charge for that. And so there's a huge kitchen here. And so I cook. And so our airfare, we got pretty good. It was like $1,100 a piece. So say $2,500 on travel. And then, there's Ubering around once in a while before we got on the plane. So I don't know, I'm going to say $4,000, $4,000. And
just for travel?
No, that's the whole thing.
Okay.
Because, I like to cook, so I don't care about going out to fancy dinners. I just don't care. And
you don't do that.
No, and we don't rent a car. We don't have to pay for a hotel. So, it's a pretty nice getaway for us. And we have, as you can see, I don't know how many rooms there are in this place, but I'll take you on a tour sometime.
Wow.
It's pretty good digs too. And then we're going to go to Paris in October, but we're going to stay in my friend's apartment in Paris. So again, we'll have airfare, which is about $1,000 each. And then we don't rent a car in Paris. God, no, we wouldn't drive. Mm-hmm. And I've been to the apartment before. It's lovely. It's in a little residential area. So you go out and, pick up your meats and cheeses and stuff like that. So I'm going to guess it's around 4,000. If we go to the Dominican Republic, that number keeps coming up. The airfare is a little less, but we stay at a really swanky place. So, and on a normal year, we will do this about 4 times a year.
Hmm.
So
So,
I need about
so
20,000 a year for my travel budget.
I was gonna say 20,000 a year. So if
Yeah.
you're doing this casually,
Mhm.
and it might seem like a big number, that really is not
No,
that
it is.
much. If you're consistent selling stuff, it's really manageable to earn $20,000 a year to travel. And that's 4 trips a year that are done pretty economically.
Mhm.
And I think that, for everybody who does eBay kind of more casually, if you're funding your travels, it's totally reasonable.
And we're going to go to Tokyo in December, and that'll be probably
Unreal.
a more expensive trip for us because we will have to have a hotel there. Although I do have friends here too, but
So what
a hotel.
I was in Japan for 6 weeks. I rented an Airbnb the whole time. I think the Airbnb cost me about $1,000. I had airfare there. I bought airfare back. Obviously, I got one of the bullet train passes. I
Mm.
ate all my meals out, and I got and I spent way ton of money buying every Japanese candy and ice cream treat they had at every convenience store. And I think over the span of 6 weeks, I spent about $5,500, which at the time felt like a ton of money. And now I'm like, $6,000 for 6 weeks, $1,000 a week. That's like, it's
Wow.
pennies. That's
It is.
so little money to travel.
Kids, I'm terrible, but I'll say, don't go to college right away. Go travel Europe. Well, what if they run out of money? They're going to figure it out. And if they figure it out when they're 19, maybe they'll have that same skill when they're 32 and lose a job. And I just think it's good. And we have friends all over the world who come to visit us and we go to visit them. So, Bill doesn't ever want to wake up one day when we're not able to motor around on our own and say, gee, I wish we'd taken that trip to where we're going to do it. We're just going to do it.
I have I have grandparents that are, I think, 88 and 86. One of them, I think, has had 2 knee replacements, and travel is their passion. They from Wisconsin, they drive down to Texas to hang out there in the spring, and they have a whole little bunch of people they hang out with there, and they travel 3-4 places every year. I think they were just in Tajikistan. Like, they've been to so many places that at this point, when you're like, what's the most amazing trip, it's just absolutely not something you'd think of. It's
No.
like, oh, I went to this distant, they said Afghanistan. They went to Afghanistan. They said Afghanistan was breathtaking. It was, one of the most beautiful trips they ever went on.
And see, I wouldn't think of that yet. I haven't done a lot of traveling. I've been to Japan before, but Jit, our good friend is gonna take us with him to Malaysia, where he was born and raised. And I thought
Shoot, I should Bogart and hop on that trip with you.
You should. You were talking about how much. So let's say, let's use some numbers. If I want to net 2,000 a month, then I better be selling about 3,500 a month. Don't you think?
Yep, easily. 3, yeah, I'd say even 4,500 if you want to be safe.
Yeah.
Depends on your ASP and your cost of goods, but I'd say 4.
And that, by the way, is coming up. I don't know what I'm going to look for in France, but I'm thinking I might find some nice frames because I don't know. Aren't they made here? Oh, I bought these great sunglasses someplace. And I thought, I'm going to take them with me because they're, they kind of look French and kind of cool and stuff.
Yeah, they are.
They were, right until I put them on and realized they are prescription. Somebody else's prescription glasses. Bill said, why do you keep running into things? And I said, well, I want to look cool. Well, you're not looking cool. You're looking like a crazy old lady that's bumping into things. So
I get a good number of returns for that.
Yeah.
People that don't read. Because I'll sell them as prescription, and then they go, well, those are prescription. I go, yeah, I know. And they go, well, it's not as described. And I go, actually, it is. So.
Yeah. Well, let's not even go there. So I've got to, that's part of my motivation. And, I think we kind of get guilted into thinking, we've got to be listing 30 a day. I don't think I've got to be listing 30 a day. I'm thinking if I wind up listing, I don't know, Thomas, what, 15 a day?
Yeah, we could really crunch some numbers here, because
And let's make
Chris,
my
tech,
average sale price at, I'm gonna bring that up, so let's make it at 30. Right now
Well-
it's at 22.
well, let's just say, because we usually discuss profit per item. Let's say you make $10 profit per item.
Mhm.
$10 profit, you're trying to make, let's just ballpark it, $100 a day. $100 a day times 30 days a month is $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month times 12 months is,
And
what
so
are we
forth.
doing with 36, almost $40,000, which is
Yeah.
exactly what you need.
Yep.
All you need to do is sell 10 items a day, $10 profit. You could, and I mean, if you're at Nirvana, that's selling 10 mall brand items a day.
Yeah.
That's all the money you need to travel for you 4 times a year. That's not a lot.
You know, and then I've got to think about what am I going to do with my store when I'm gone. So what you may ask, am I doing with my store now? Well, I took your advice because I said, okay, I'm leaving Monday, so I'll quit. I'll put my store on hold as of Sunday. And you said, no. People have 4 days to pay. So I put it on hold Wednesday. I actually shipped everything that was sold and paid for up until Sunday night. I got everything shipped out Monday. And then I said, gee, I'm going to be gone. Won't ship until the 4th, which is a lie. I'm due back the 2nd. But I wanted to kind of put a buffer in there in case airfare, or in case I decide to run away to France. And so I decided not to list during this time. And I'm going to see what happens. Because my store is each eking up to 1,000, and that's about all I really want in my store. So I was afraid
Selling 10 a day,
yeah,
1% sell through.
I like
Kind
that.
of the dream.
And then kind of get rid of the dead wood on the bottom of it. So I'll have some actual information about this when I get back and see. But I sold, like yesterday, I told you I had listed a pair of shoes for 124 and took a $95 offer on it. And
There, you basically paid for a whole day.
yep, and I paid $10 for those shoes. That was part of that. And I've got a bunch of really good shoes. So I'm going to start trying to go through my piles of stuff. And instead of being drawn to listing the cheapos, I'm going to try to list some quality stuff. And
Yeah, that goes back to our conversation yesterday. List better items instead of a bunch of junk. I'm learning that myself hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I've gotten some really nice comments on our interview with Landon.
I know, we did.
That was really fun. I enjoyed.
Yeah, it's a good time. I have a bunch of thoughts on our next interview guest.
Well, I don't know who our next guest should be, but for Flip or Flop, I want to do a lightning round where you or somebody who's an expert, I see how close you can come to ballparking common items, not stuff that you're not going to run into. But, I'd say, Thomas, you usually see that's a $30, $35 sweater. And I usually check up on you and you're pretty close, but it would be kind of fun to do a lightning round like that. And with someone with shoes, for example, I have a whole bunch of shoes. So maybe have Isaiah say, okay, Isaiah, here's what they are. Don't look it up. Isaiah, I'm watching you. What do you think? And write it down and then go through and see how close we can get if we just ballpark it.
That's a really good, I got some spare shoes lying around.
Oh,
so
good.
we could probably do that tomorrow if Isaiah wants to come on.
Well, I'm not home, so I don't have my shoes.
I know, but I'm saying, like, we could do a 3-way Zoom and I could hold up shoes and be like, Isaiah, what do you think? We could do 10 pairs because I got a bunch of sneakers.
Oh, you do have some. Okay. Well, I don't know if you'd want to do it or not.
I could dig up some shoes.
Why don't you say if you would? There's some other shoe people on there too, and the other guy would be, I have boxes of jeans, and some of them are crap. Most of them are crap. He'd probably just laugh at me. But anyway, I thought lightning rounds would be fun once in a while. Put your mouth where your money is, kind of thing.
Good. I like that. That's pretty funny.
Your mouth where your money is. And have you figured out what Wednesdays are supposed to be yet?
I did. I looked it up. So, Little Pete barked at her own butt. She scratched it and then laughed at it, barked at it. I just rewatched our first video, our relaunch video, and it was talking about how Wednesday was going to be a live stream, more interactive with Viewers Day, but we can't do that yet. So I think Wednesday kind of goes into exactly. So I think Wednesday goes into more of a free discussion. How about for now, till we get our 1,000 subscribers and go live? I think it's more of a free discussion with like broadly related to reselling, kind of like this, but without like a hard kind of topic like we try to do for Monday.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking about Wednesdays. I've been reading some interesting stuff. There's on, for example,
That's brilliant.
What?
Reselling in the news.
Yep, that
Wednesday's reselling in the news. Perfect. I didn't hear you. It broke up.
I said we even talked about.
Now she's chasing her tail.
Am I losing you?
Yeah,
My-
yeah, you are.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
I'm on a pretty good Wi-Fi, but we had talked about doing that reselling in the news.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Yep.
Hey,
Read some articles, get it done.
Anybody who's watching this, I found the 17 Hail Marys and a Ginsu knife video, and I'm
Nice work.
uploading it. I'm uploading it. So if anybody's watching this, if you want to hoot, and wait for it, it'll be toward the toward the end. We went so far off the rails that we even thought about, well, I was afraid lightning was going to strike Thomas, but then I wasn't close to him, so I really didn't care. We really debated about whether or not we should post it. So I'm going to post it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And I already have a good title for this one that I wrote down, but I forgot what it is.
I want to see
What?
the dribble. Yeah, somebody had made comments about me
Oh,
not wanting
yeah,
to
yeah,
post
yeah,
our
yeah,
old
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, this is going to be kind of a short one today, maybe, but maybe not. No, it's not. It's
Mhm.
29 minutes.
Oh, really? Yeah, we're
Yeah.
killing it.
So I'm going to
Um,
take you just on one little walk around, and if we lose the internet, we lose it. But
Well, so real quick, what are you doing today? What's your travel schedule look like?
well, it's 4:30 today. So we just went, and I'm going to post on this video. I'll post some pictures. I'll insert them right now.
Oh, yep.
I love France. You go to a store and buy fruit, and all they have is fruit, and it's beautiful. And you go to the bread store, and all they have is bread. And I love that. This staircase is magnificent. The whole thing. I just love this old house.
Wow.
I'm going to go outside. You're looking at me, not that. Let me turn the camera on. And we're just going to make a little trip.
Wow.
And I can't. If I lose you, I lose you. Okay.
Sounds good.
So look at the old floors in
Jeez,
here.
the
They're all-
floor.
And so you go from here, and then in the hall, which is where the
Oh my God.
these are all like Italian tile. It looks like linoleum tile, and it's not. And then,
Is that marble?
oh yeah. Then out here is the pool, the indoor pool. Oh, they're there. There. So let's walk outside. Oh, and look at the Chinese stuff. Yeah, I'm really suffering here.
How are you going to make it through this?
I don't know. I can't take you up there, but do you see that little building with a point on the top?
Mm-hmm.
That is Frank's Playhouse. His grandfather built that for him. And upstairs is a little
Wow.
library in there, little stairs. I don't know if the Wi-Fi will take me up there, so I'm going to not do it today, but I'm going to take it up there. It's a beautiful little room with maps and everything a boy would be looking at about the world. And so anyway, with that, I'm going to go have some wine. We do have a little bit of wine around here. And
Believe it or not, I knew wine was going to come into this conversation.
yeah, it does. And I noticed I didn't take the long way, but anyway, this is the back side of the chateau. It's actually a very beautiful building. But I don't know if I can get up far enough to show you
I like how you go, it's actually like everyone's thinking it's a really ugly building.
Yeah, you think?
It's actually really nice. Wow, I'm so surprised. French Castle, nice.
That funny little top.
Hmm.
Can you see it?
Yep.
So anyway,
Wow.
well, go toast something and
Go
supper.
drink some
and
table
I
wine.
will- Yeah. And I'll talk to you tomorrow and we'll what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is
Flip or flop. I gotta talk to Isaiah.
oh yeah, do that. And if that doesn't work, let me know and we'll flip or flop something else.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Talk to you
Bye.
tomorrow.